Hello, you're welcome to yet another episode of IPMAN Today. IPMAN Today is the flagship primetime show of IPMAN, and IPMAN is the acronym for the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria. Every week on IPMAN Today, you know what we do on IPMAN Today. We bring you the latest in Nigeria's oil and gas sector. And of course, on today's episode, it promises to be no different. Yes, we'll bring you the thoughts of our national president of IPMAN on the issues regarding fuel scarcity. Now, there's no saying the truth in that fuel scarcity is not novel to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. It's always been there in our country. But how can we put an end to this ugly situation once and for all? The president of IPMAN has all the answers, and you don't want to miss this episode. And recently, of course, the Senate ad hoc committee set up to investigate the alleged economic sabotage in the petroleum industry that is chaired by the Senate leader himself, Senator Okpeyemi Bamidele, invited key stakeholders. I'm talking about heavyweight stakeholders in Nigeria's oil and gas sector. And of course, IPMAN was well represented by a very, very dynamic delegation. And you know that IPMAN is one of those associations, one of those stakeholders that is critical to the successful drive of upscaling Nigeria's oil and gas sector. I'll bring you all you need to know that took place in that committee, that took place at the Senate recently. My name remains Afam Okone. This is IPMAN Today. I'll be back right after this short break. And remember, you're watching the NTA, that is the largest network in Africa. You're welcome back from that short break, and like I told you earlier, our president has all the answers to ensuring that fuel scarcity in Nigeria becomes a thing of the past. This is the conversation today on the verdict. I'll bring you the verdict right now with our president of IPMAN, Alhaji Abubakar Shettima. Hello, you're welcome to yet another edition of The Verdict on IPMAN Today. Our president is always aligning to this edition of The Verdict. Mr. President, welcome once again, sir.
Yeah, welcome, Mr. Afan.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, well done.
You're looking all white in your sweet native, sir.
Okay, thank you.
So let's talk about fuel scarcity. I mean, you have been in this industry for years, I'm sure. As the president of IPMAN, you have been doing PMS and oil and gas for, I'm sure, over 20 years. And in all of these years, we've always had situations of fuel scarcity in Nigeria. So we know fuel scarcity is not a new thing. It's always been there. But can you tell us exactly why fuel scarcity always rears its ugly head every other time in Nigeria, sir, from your experience as the IPMAN president?
Well, what you have said is true. We normally have fuel scarcity from time to time, and it takes a very long numbers of years. So, sincerely speaking, what is happening? One, most of the fuel we use in the country today is being imported. So, provided that we depend on importation, definitely there will be that issue of scarcity. But there are some certain measures. If we can be able to take it, it will reduce the rate of scarcity and in terms of even pricing. Number one, if we are only relying on importation, in the government strategic depots, the time when we have availability, let the NNPCL try as much as possible and see they discharge part of the products inside their depots as a reserve. Should in case if there is any incasity, they will start loading that their reserve. For example, there are so many NNPC depots, almost 20-something depots in Nigeria.
NNPC alone has
20. Yes, has 20-something depots in Nigeria. Like there is one in Mina, one in Suleja, Makodi, Jos, Musumi, Port Harcourt, Warri, and other places. So if they are filling this, their reserve always, if there is anything like shortage, or if there is anything like maybe transportation issue, or logistic problem, or any thunder strike, they can be able to refer back to their reserve and start loading. And mind you, again, the NNPCL has to increase their partnership with independent petroleum marketers.
That's IPMAN.
That is IPMAN.
Okay.
Because IPMAN is controlling almost 85% of Nigerian retail outlets. So if they are giving IPMAN members their quota of allocation direct, definitely that one too will eradicate scarcity. Because sometimes if they share the products, they normally give priority to the DAPMAN owners, DAPMAN depots. And this DAPMAN, they doesn't have filling stations. Only a few of them have filling stations. So if the product is being supplied to them, we independent petroleum marketers, we have no choice than to go through them and source the product. If they like, they sell to us. If they didn't like, they just keep it to maximize their profit. But by the time when we are getting our allocation direct, immediately when we carry this product direct, we take it to our various filling station. The advantage behind giving us this product direct, one, it will reduce scarcity. Two, it will reduce the price. And immediately when the price of the PMS is being reduced, it's just like to say you reduce the price of each and every commodity. Because most of the commodities that we sell in the country today depend on the transportation. That is the reason why we are always putting much pressure to the NNPCL to see how they can be able to accommodate us and be giving us our product direct so that we can carry this product to our filling station and sell it to the masses at a lower rate. So if the NNPCL can try as much as possible and partner with us, even though they have been giving us, but the quantity that they have been given is too low. Okay. It cannot carry us to a destination whereby the masses, Nigerian masses, will feel that really they are being supported.
Okay, so what's the percentage of allocation being given to IPMAN right now, sir? Do you have an idea?
Presently, the percentage which normally we used to get is not more than 5%.
5%?
Yes.
Out of the original what?
Yes, instead of 50%. Okay. Presently now we are not getting more than 5%.
But why exactly is the NNPC giving IPMAN 5%? Why exactly? Is it that by law they are not supposed to give IPMAN, or is it that IPMAN don't have the depot, or they prefer to deal with DAPMAN members who have depot?
Well, actually, we cannot mention the reason why they are doing that, but all what we know, if this product is coming to us direct, it will help the country generally, and it will help everybody.
Okay. But recently, sir, some of the marketers in the news, they said that, I don't know how true it is, you are the president of IPMAN, so whatever you say is final. Some of your members were quoted to have said that it seems that the NNPC is trying to frustrate their business by not giving them the adequate number of allocation through DAPMAN. That DAPMAN is trying to actually frustrate IPMAN members. Is it true, sir?
No, the only thing that I know and what we have been emphasizing always, whatever is being given to MEMAN, we have MEMAN, that is major marketers, or NNPC retail, or DAPMAN, at least IPMAN allocation should be greater than any one of them.
Than all of them put together?
Yes, will be greater because we are the owners of the retail outlet. And in any commodity that you brought in the country, you have to look retailers. We are the retailers. I'm telling you, the whole filling station that you have been seeing in this country is owned by the independent petroleum marketers.
All of them?
All. It's only few. But the remaining all, either maybe if you have seen it through the major MEMAN or through the NNPC retail, it's just an agreement done by an independent marketer to release the station.
Okay, to NNPC or MEMAN?
Yes, to NNPC or MEMAN.
So by those, NNPC is not mandated to build filling stations?
No, they are mandated because now they are limited liability company.
Okay, now?
Now, yes, they are limited liability company, so they are free to do the business. And we are not against the business of anybody. But always what we have been saying, let's get our appropriate allocation so that we can be able to discharge and sell to the masses.
So the way forward now is for IPMAN to collect this fuel directly?
That is the solution, and that is what has been going before.
But sir, some of the places have said that IPMAN does not have the capacity in terms of depot.
Which of the capacity?
To store this large quantity.
Let me tell you, IPMAN, the way we make an investment, I don't think there is any company any association that has invested a money like us in the country.
In terms of oil and gas sector?
Yes, in terms of oil and gas sector. Because presently, we have over 70 billion naira.
70 billion?
Yes, inside the NNPC retail.
That is stock?
That is stock and waiting for loading.
70 billion?
Over 70 billion presently.
Paid already?
Yes.
So why is it stock, sir?
Because they are challenged, they are complaining that they doesn't have enough products.
Okay, they say they don't have enough products?
Yes.
So even if they have, so that means that they are now saying they don't have enough products. So invariably means that they will not even have enough allocation to give to IPMAN, even if they decide to go 50% to IPMAN.
No, it's just an arrangement. If they make a very good plan,
okay,
they accommodate IPMAN
with what they have.
With what they have. This thing, at least it will go everywhere. Even though we are still on negotiation with them, so that to make them to realize that if they wanted to eradicate this scarcity and to at least reduce the cost of the product, let them engage independent petroleum marketers. So by the time when they engage us, definitely you will see a lot of changes in the country. Because one, we get this product at a lower rate and we carry it to our filling station, reduce the rate and sell. There is no need of any holding or whatsoever because already the stations are dry. That is the reason why now when you go around inside the country, you will see most of the independent petroleum marketers are dry. Their stations are dry, no product. But by the time when we are getting it direct, we share it to the whole of our members to discharge it inside their filling station. Anybody who has done anything wrong, then we call him to order.
You have a machinery to discipline?
Yes, we have a machinery, yes, because by the time when we give you the product, you refuse to discharge inside your filling station, then next time we cannot provide you with the product.
Thank you, Mr. President, sir.
Oh, thank you very much.
Your last words again on the verdict.
First, let's thank Mr. President,
okay,
Senator Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for the way he has been working day and night to see that he make Nigerians happy. Therefore, I am appealing to Nigerians. Let's support Mr. President's agenda, because I know he's a businessman and he has a lot of experience.
Well said, sir, because the president has already addressed some of these issues regarding some of these protests ongoing in Nigeria. And we hope that this will put a stop to it, because the president we know is working for the betterment of Nigerians. Thank you, Mr. President, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sir, before we go, hope during the protest, none of your members' stations were...
No, none of my members, all our stations are safe. And for those who has fuel in their filling stations, they have obeyed our instructions. They have been selling their products inside their filling stations. So we doesn't have any issues.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah, thank you very much.
IPMAN members have been discharging fuel products in the filling stations across Nigeria, despite the happenings we've been seeing lately. This is the verdict on IPMAN today. Many thanks for keeping your dialogue. We'll still be back after this short break. Don't go anywhere. Of course, you've heard all the answers from our president himself. Fuel scarcity can become a thing of the past if only the government and other stakeholders can just address it head on, just as put certainly by our president, Alhaji Abubakar Shettima. He has all the answers and he is willing to ensure that fuel scarcity in Nigeria comes to an end. And everything he said is all we need to put this to action. Right now, let's go over to the Senate ad hoc committee set up to investigate the alleged economic sabotage in the petroleum industry. Our president was there. A lot of key stakeholders were there. I'm talking about key heavyweight stakeholders. Let me bring you highlights of how it all went down at the Senate.
But just to assure the honorable committee that Nigerians have all had only one side of the argument. We've been bombarded, abused, accused, maligned, but we're not heard. So just like the honorable minister has said, it is an opportunity for Nigerians to hear from the side of not only Farouk Ahmed, but NNDPRA. So I actually am happy, I'm pleased, and elated that the hearing will be made public and live on TV, because we have been unfairly treated, not only by the Nigerian press, but the very senior Nigerians, very high, of high places, because of misinformation. Obviously, it's not their fault. It was information that was polluted, misrepresented. This company cannot have negative profits for 3 years. The Kama say you can shut it down. So, Chairman, it's our job to protect this company, but it's also our job to protect other businesses around us. And all of us here see what's happening in the media. Targeted personal attack on my person, on the institution. And we all know how this works. They are deliberate, they are calculated, so that create the impression that the NMPC Limited and our leadership are doing anything to create economic sabotage in our country. It is far from it, Mr. Chairman. This company has grown, Mr. Chairman. We are proud to say this. From a loss company for 43 years to a profit-making company today, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, it is very clear from everything you have said through this investigative hearing that you can see the majority of the issues you have raised have nothing to do with the NMPC Limited. Yet, everybody believes, by sheer misinformation, which my minister has highlighted, the NMPC is responsible for creating any economic sabotage in our country. Mr. Chairman, refining business is straight business. You must secure your feedstock and you must secure a market. This is basic, even for NMPC refineries.
I am here before you today as the president of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, comprising of over 30,000 conglomerates, over 50,000 retail outlets, which account for 85% of petroleum stations across the country, and over 100,000 fleets of trucks conveying petroleum products in the country. So we are here to support and to say the truth in this ad hoc committee. It is important to note that IPMAN is one of the most critical organizations in the oil and gas industry in Nigeria. This is due to the fact that we are responsible for larger distribution of petroleum products across nooks and crannies of this country. IPMAN, as a body, sir, would like to use this medium to solicit the support of the Senate to ensure that there is a level playing ground in this sector of the economy, by ensuring that the refineries, storage facilities owners, and IPMAN that have the retail outlet should not be distorted by allowing monopoly to set in. Before I go ahead, I would like to make it clear that IPMAN appreciates our long-standing relationship with the NNPCL. Let me also acknowledge that the NNPCL is currently doing her best to allocate IPMAN products to IPMAN through NIPCO PLC, but the products are grossly inadequate considering the strength of IPMAN vis-a-vis. Our investment in the downstream, IPMAN's allocation needs to be improved to meet up the numbers of retail outlets, which is well spread across the country.
Today we have a president who himself is a product of the oil and gas industry. And today we have Nigerians who have become really agitated and eager to just find an answer to so many things, find a solution to, seemingly perennial challenges. And I know that at the end of the day, it's not going to be the same old story by the grace of God.
All right, now this is where I draw the curtains, and this is the part that I always hate to do the most, where I have to draw the curtains on today's episode of IPMAN Today. Many thanks for keeping your channel locked on NTA, the largest network in all of Africa. I'm sure it's been very, very enlightening. How can we put an end to fuel scarcity in Nigeria? You also heard the thoughts of our national president at the Senate ad hoc committee set up to investigate the alleged economic sabotage in the petroleum industry. And you also heard a lot of other stakeholders on their own points, what they had to say. Nigeria can overcome every challenge we face in our petroleum industry. So this is the part that I have to say goodbye. IPMAN Today will be back same time next week on NTA, the largest network in all of Africa. Until then, it's 10:05 same time every Mondays. Until then, my name remains Afamokone. Keep watching IPMAN Today. Keep watching the NTA as the NTA continues with their sublime broadcasting.